Did you know that 92% of seniors at age 70 still keep daily routines that silently damage their mental health? Stress doesn't just affect mood, it accelerates memory loss, raises risk of depression, and even worsens physical health. In this video, we'll uncover 5 common mistakes older adults make and how to break free for a calmer, healthier mind. Hello everyone, my name is Matthew Miller. Welcome to Matthew Miller TV, the channel where we explore practical, science-backed ways to live longer, healthier, and happier lives. If you care about your health and well-being, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you'll never miss valuable insights designed to help you and your loved ones. To understand how these mistakes affect seniors, let's look at real-life examples many of you can relate to. Mistake number 1. Skipping relaxation and downtime. Let me share something that often surprises people. One of the biggest threats to mental health after 70 isn't just memory loss or poor sleep, it's stress. And the reason it's so dangerous is because most seniors simply don't slow down and give themselves time to relax. In fact, surveys here in the US show that more than 9 out of 10 older adults report feeling stress regularly, whether it's worrying about health, family, or finances. Yet very few actually schedule time for rest. What happens then? Stress hormones, especially cortisol, stay high in the body. Over time, this damages the brain, weakens the immune system, and increases the risk of high blood pressure, heart disease, and even memory decline. You may notice it as constant fatigue, irritability, or trouble concentrating. That's your body telling you it needs downtime. Now, why do so many people skip relaxation? I hear this all the time from my patients. Many grew up in a culture where hard work meant value, and slowing down was seen as laziness. Others spent decades caring for families or working long hours, and the habit of always being busy never really goes away. Even in retirement, they feel guilty when they're not productive. And on top of that, many seniors carry heavy responsibilities. Maybe they're helping take care of grandkids, managing health issues, or worrying about bills. Stress becomes a normal part of daily life. Let me tell you about Margaret, a 72-year-old retired teacher from Ohio. She's a warm, energetic woman who always cared deeply for her family. But in retirement, she found herself constantly on edge. She filled her days with chores, checked the news every hour, and worried about her adult children. Sitting quietly or taking a walk felt unproductive to her. Over time, her blood pressure climbed, she slept poorly, and she felt her memory slipping. When she came to see me, she was shocked to learn that unmanaged stress was playing a huge role in her health problems. This is not unusual. And here's the good news. Relaxation doesn't require hours of meditation or expensive programs. It's about building small, simple habits that signal to your body and brain, you're safe, you can relax now. Research from the Mayo Clinic and Harvard shows that even just 10 to 15 minutes a day of mindful breathing, light stretching, or listening to calming music can reduce cortisol, lower blood pressure, and protect your brain health. For example, Margaret started small. Each morning she did 5 minutes of slow breathing and gentle stretching before breakfast. In the afternoon she went for a quiet walk around her neighborhood, leaving her phone at home. She also began writing down 3 things she was grateful for each evening. Within 3 months, she was sleeping better, feeling calmer, and even noticed her focus returning. These weren't dramatic changes, but they were consistent. And that made all the difference. So here's what I want you to remember. Downtime is not wasted time. It's essential medicine for your mind. Every time you allow yourself to rest, you are protecting your memory, balancing your mood, and giving yourself more energy for the people and things you love. The takeaway is simple. Rest is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Prioritize calm moments every day, and your brain will thank you for years to come. Mistake number 2. Relying too much on news and screens. Let's move on to another mistake that I see happening with so many seniors. And honestly, it's one that creeps in so quietly that most people don't even realize the toll it takes. I'm talking about spending too much time in front of screens, especially watching the news. Now let me be clear, staying informed is a good thing. Nobody is saying you should cut yourself off from the world. But when your daily routine becomes centered around hours of TV news, endless scrolling on a tablet, or even late-night talk shows, it can silently chip away at your mental health. According to Nielsen data, older Americans spend an average of more than 4.5 hours every single day watching television. That doesn't even include time on computers, phones, or tablets. And while you may think I am just keeping myself company or I want to know what's happening out there, the truth is, most of this screen time is filled with negative, fear-driven, and stressful information. Our brains are not designed to handle a constant flood of bad news. Let me share a story that might sound familiar. George, a 74-year-old retired engineer from Florida, was always someone who prided himself on being informed. Every morning he started the day with cable news, often letting it run in the background for hours. At lunch he switched to financial updates. At night he wound down with political debates or late-night talk shows. George thought he was just being responsible, keeping up with the world. But slowly, his wife noticed changes. George became more anxious, more irritable, and conversations at home turned into constant replays of the day's problems. He started having trouble falling asleep because his mind was racing with the latest headlines. Even his blood pressure ticked up. What George didn't realize was that his brain was living in a state of chronic stress, triggered by the steady stream of alarming information. And George isn't alone. A study from the American Psychological Association found that 56% of adults report news consumption as a significant source of stress. For seniors, who may already face challenges like health concerns, loneliness, or reduced mobility, that stress can hit even harder. Elevated cortisol levels, the body's stress hormone, affect sleep, memory, and even immune function. Over time, this can worsen feelings of anxiety and depression, and even accelerate cognitive decline. So why do so many older adults fall into this pattern? There are a few reasons. First, screens are accessible. The TV is right there, the remote is easy, and it fills time that used to be occupied by work or busy family life. Second, there's a sense of comfort in routine. Many people grew up watching the evening news, so it feels natural to keep doing it. And third, there's the illusion of control. Seniors often tell me, if I stay informed, I feel safer. But paradoxically, the more news they consume, the more unsafe and unsettled they feel. This doesn't mean screens are the enemy. Far from it. Technology can be wonderful when used wisely. Video calls with grandchildren, learning a new hobby on YouTube, or watching a documentary can be enriching. The problem comes when screens are used passively and excessively, especially when the content is dominated by fear and negativity. So, what can you do? Here are some simple, practical steps that I often recommend to my patients. Set boundaries. Limit news watching to no more than 30 minutes to an hour a day. Pick a reliable source, catch the key updates, and then turn it off. Create screen-free evenings. Avoid watching TV or scrolling on your phone 1 to 2 hours before bedtime. This not only reduces stress but also improves sleep, since blue light from screens interferes with melatonin production. Replace screen time with activities that feed your brain. Read a book, work on a puzzle, try gentle stretching, or listen to music you love. These activities calm the nervous system rather than agitate it. Choose uplifting content. If you enjoy TV, pick programs that inspire, educate, or bring joy. Nature shows, comedies, or cooking programs can provide relaxation without the stress. Stay socially connected instead of filling silence with TV. Make a phone call to a friend, join a community class, or spend time outdoors. Human connection does far more for your mental health than any headline ever could. When George finally took these steps, cutting back his news watching, replacing it with gardening, phone calls with family, and light reading, the changes were remarkable. Within weeks, his mood improved, his sleep became more restful, and he even reported more energy during the day. His wife told me it felt like she got her husband back. The key takeaway here is simple. Your attention is one of your most valuable resources. What you choose to focus on shapes your reality. Protect it wisely. So, if you find yourself glued to the news or endlessly scrolling through screens, take a step back. Give your brain a break, because less screen stress means more mental clarity, more joy, and ultimately, a healthier, more peaceful life. Mistake number 3. Neglecting social connections. Let's talk about something many seniors don't always realize is affecting their mental health: the loss or neglect of social connections. At first glance, it might not seem as important as eating right, exercising, or taking medication, but in truth, it's one of the strongest factors in keeping your mind sharp and your spirit alive after 7. Here's the reality. In the United States, studies show that nearly 25% of adults over 65 are socially isolated. That's 1 out of every 4 seniors, and research from the CDC has revealed that loneliness doesn't just make you feel sad, it actually increases the risk of dementia by 50%, and raises the chance of premature death at levels similar to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Yes, that's how serious this is. Why does this happen? Think about it. Human beings are wired for connection. From the time we're born, our brains develop through interaction. listening, responding, laughing, and sharing. But as people age, life circumstances can shift. Retirement changes daily routines. Friends and spouses may pass away. Children move to different states, busy with their own lives. And little by little, without even noticing, a once active social life becomes quiet, even silent. I'll share with you the story of George, a 74-year-old retired engineer from Arizona. George used to spend his days surrounded by colleagues, always problem-solving and joking with his team. But after retirement, he found himself home most of the day. His wife had passed away years earlier, and his 2 daughters lived far away. At first, George enjoyed the peace and quiet, but over time the days blended together. He spoke to almost no one, and he started to feel tired, unmotivated, and forgetful. When his doctor asked how often he interacted with others, George realized it was maybe once or twice a week at best. Why do so many seniors fall into this trap? Often it's not by choice. Hearing loss can make conversations frustrating. Mobility issues make it harder to leave the house. Some feel embarrassed if they can't remember names or details, so they avoid gatherings. Others believe they're bothering people by reaching out, so they stay silent. Depression can also create a vicious cycle. The more isolated you feel, the less energy you have to connect, which then makes you feel even lonelier. But here's the hopeful part. Social connection is medicine. Genuine, daily interaction can stimulate the brain, improve memory, and even reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease. In fact, research published in the American Journal of Public Health showed that strong social ties can increase life expectancy by up to 7.5 years. That's nearly a decade added to your life simply by maintaining meaningful relationships, and the benefits go beyond brain health. Seniors who remain socially engaged report better mood, less anxiety, and even lower blood pressure. Think about how you feel after a good conversation or a hearty laugh with an old friend. That lightness, that energy, is your body and brain responding to the connection. So, what can you do if you realize you've been letting your social world shrink? You don't need a huge group of friends or daily parties. Small, consistent steps make all the difference. Here are a few practical ways. Reconnect with old friends. Sometimes all it takes is one phone call. People are often more excited to hear from you than you expect. Join a group or class. Senior centers, community colleges, and churches often offer activities, from book clubs to painting to walking groups. Volunteer. Helping others not only provides a sense of purpose but also creates opportunities for meaningful interaction. Use technology to your advantage. Many seniors now FaceTime their grandchildren, join virtual exercise classes, or participate in online communities. It's easier than ever to connect. Prioritize interaction in your routine. Make it a goal to have at least one meaningful conversation every day, whether with a neighbor, a family member, or someone at the store. Going back to George's story, his doctor encouraged him to join a local men's breakfast club at the senior center. George hesitated at first, but after a few weeks he started enjoying the banter, the discussions, and even planning outings with the group. His daughters noticed he sounded happier on the phone. His memory improved, his energy increased, and he even started exercising again with his new friends. George told me later, "I thought I was doing fine on my own, but I didn't realize how much I needed people until I started showing up again." The takeaway here is simple but powerful. A connected brain is a protected brain. Neglecting social ties may seem harmless, but it slowly erodes mental sharpness and emotional resilience. By choosing to reach out even in small ways, you're not only strengthening your relationships, you're safeguarding your mental health and ensuring you can live with clarity, purpose, and joy. So my encouragement to you is this: don't wait for others to knock on your door. Pick up the phone, join that group, say yes to the invitation. Connection is not just something nice to have, it's essential for your brain and your well-being. Mistake number 4. Poor sleep habits. Let's talk about something simple, but incredibly powerful for your mental health. Sleep. Many people think sleep is just downtime, but in reality, it's one of the most important tools your brain has to stay sharp, balanced, and healthy. Unfortunately, after 70, poor sleep habits are surprisingly common, and they quietly take a toll on both mental and physical health. In fact, studies show that around 50% of adults over 65 report regular sleep problems. Some struggle to fall asleep, others wake up frequently during the night, and many wake up too early and can't get back to rest. It might not sound like a big deal at first, but over time, chronic poor sleep doesn't just make you tired, it damages your brain. Harvard researchers found that seniors who sleep fewer than 5 to 6 hours per night are almost twice as likely to develop Alzheimer's disease compared to those who regularly get 7 to 8 hours. Why does this happen? When you sleep deeply, your brain does important housekeeping. It clears away toxins, including beta amyloid, the sticky protein strongly linked with Alzheimer's disease. Without enough quality sleep, these proteins build up, brain cells become stressed, and memory and focus decline. That's why, even after just one rough night, you might notice it's harder to concentrate, recall details, or manage your emotions. Multiply that by months or years, and the impact on your mental health becomes very real. Take the story of John, a 71-year-old from Florida. After retiring, John's sleep schedule became irregular. He'd watch TV until midnight, doze off on the couch, wake up at 2 a.m., then scroll through his phone until he felt sleepy again. To fight fatigue the next day, he drank multiple cups of coffee. At night, he sometimes had a glass of wine, thinking it would help him relax. Over time, his daughter noticed changes. He was more irritable, his memory slipped, and he seemed constantly tired. His doctor explained that John's poor sleep habits were preventing him from reaching the deep, restorative stages his brain desperately needed. So why do seniors like John often struggle with sleep? Part of it is biological. As we age, our bodies produce less melatonin, the hormone that helps regulate sleep. Pain from arthritis, bathroom trips at night, or conditions like sleep apnea can make things worse. There are also psychological factors: loneliness, stress, or the simple habit of staying up late watching TV. And while alcohol or over-the-counter sleep aids may feel like solutions, they usually disrupt sleep even more. Here's the good news. Sleep can improve at any age, and even small changes make a big difference. The goal is 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night. How can you get there? First, keep a regular sleep schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Consistency helps regulate your body's internal clock. Second, make your bedroom a sleep-friendly space. Keep it cool, dark, and quiet. Blackout curtains, comfortable bedding, and a white noise machine can all help. Third, watch your habits. Limit caffeine to the morning. Avoid alcohol at night. It may knock you out quickly, but it disrupts deep sleep later. Replace late-night TV or phone scrolling with calming activities, reading, gentle stretching, or listening to soft music. Fourth, consider your health conditions. Sleep apnea affects about 30% of older adults, yet many go undiagnosed. If you snore loudly, wake up gasping, or feel exhausted despite a full night in bed, talk to your doctor. Treatment can protect your brain, heart, and overall health. Back to John's story. With guidance, he made some key changes. He stopped drinking coffee after noon, replaced his late-night TV habit with reading, and set a consistent bedtime. His doctor also diagnosed mild sleep apnea, and with treatment, his sleep quality improved dramatically. Within weeks, his energy came back, his memory slips decreased, and his mood lifted. John later said, "I never realized how much better life could feel once I actually slept well." The truth is, poor sleep isn't just an inconvenience. It's a silent threat to your mental health. But the flip side is empowering. Quality sleep is like a nightly reset button for your brain. It clears toxins, restores focus, and strengthens memory. So, if you've been shrugging off poor sleep as just part of getting older, it's time to rethink that. Protecting your sleep means protecting your brain. Start with small changes tonight, and you'll be surprised how much brighter, sharper, and healthier your days can become. Mistake number 5, social isolation and chronic stress. When people think about protecting mental health after 70, they often focus on things like diet, exercise, or even sleep. But one of the most underestimated threats comes from something less visible: social isolation and chronic stress. These two factors can quietly erode your mental sharpness, mood, and overall well-being. And unfortunately, they are extremely common among seniors. In the United States, research from the National Institute on Aging shows that nearly 1 in 4 adults over 65 is socially isolated, and about 40% report frequent feelings of loneliness. That's a huge number. And loneliness isn't just an emotional issue. It has real, measurable impacts on the brain. Seniors who feel isolated have a 50% increased risk of developing dementia, according to studies published by the CDC. On top of that, chronic stress releases high levels of cortisol, a hormone that, when elevated over time, damages the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory and learning. Think about Martha, a 74-year-old widow living in Ohio after her husband passed away. She stopped attending church regularly, no longer joined her book club, and spent most days at home alone. At first, she told herself she was just taking time to heal. But weeks turned into months, and isolation became her routine. Slowly, Martha began noticing changes. She felt more anxious. Her memory seemed foggier, and she lacked motivation to cook or exercise. Her doctor explained that her brain was essentially being starved of stimulation and connection, while chronic stress was taking a toll on her mental and physical health. Why does this happen? Humans are wired for connection. Social interactions, conversations, laughter, even small talk stimulate the brain in ways that protect against cognitive decline. They encourage problem-solving, emotional regulation, and resilience. On the flip side, isolation triggers feelings of loneliness, which the brain perceives as a threat. This activates the body's stress response, flooding the system with cortisol. Over time, high cortisol not only worsens anxiety and depression, but also shrinks brain volume in areas linked to memory. It's no wonder isolated seniors are more vulnerable to dementia, mood disorders, and even cardiovascular disease. The consequences are serious. But here's the empowering part. Addressing social isolation and stress is entirely possible even later in life, and the benefits come surprisingly fast. Studies show that seniors who engage in regular social activities, from volunteering to group exercise, have better memory scores, slower cognitive decline, and lower rates of depression. So what can you do? First, rebuild connections. Call a friend, schedule weekly coffee dates, or join a local group. Many communities offer senior centers, book clubs, walking groups, or hobby classes designed to bring people together. Second, use technology to your advantage. While nothing replaces face-to-face interaction, tools like Zoom, FaceTime, or online communities can bridge the gap when distance is an issue. Even short, regular calls with family members can make a big difference. Third, volunteer or give back. Studies show that seniors who volunteer experience lower stress and greater life satisfaction, whether it's helping at a food bank, tutoring children, or supporting a church project. Giving your time creates purpose and meaningful connections. Fourth, manage stress directly. Practices like meditation, deep breathing, or Tai Chi have been proven to lower cortisol levels. Even just 10 minutes a day can reduce stress and improve focus. Many seniors also find journaling, prayer, or simply spending time outdoors helps restore calm. Let's return to Martha. With encouragement from her daughter, she joined a local community center's knitting group. At first, she was hesitant, but soon she found herself looking forward to the weekly meetings. She also started walking with a neighbor 3 mornings a week. Within a few months, Martha's mood improved, her anxiety decreased, and she reported feeling clearer mentally. Her doctor noticed positive changes in her blood pressure and sleep as well. By reconnecting socially and managing her stress, Martha essentially gave her brain new life. The key takeaway here is simple but powerful. Social isolation and chronic stress are silent threats to mental health, but they're not inevitable. By reaching out, staying engaged, and practicing stress relief, seniors can protect their memory, improve mood, and enjoy more vibrant, independent lives. So if you've been spending more time alone, or if stress has become a constant companion, consider this your reminder: it's never too late to make a change. Call a friend, join a group, step outside for a walk, or try 5 minutes of mindful breathing. Your brain and your spirit will thank you. As we come to the end of today's talk, let's take a moment to reflect. We've looked at several daily mistakes that many people over 70 still make without realizing how much they affect mental health. From neglecting sleep, letting stress pile up, staying socially isolated, to ignoring simple routines that keep the brain active, each of these choices adds up over time. The truth is, protecting your mind doesn't require a radical lifestyle change. It's about being aware of the small habits that quietly wear you down and choosing healthier alternatives. Think about it this way: just as we take care of our physical health by eating better and moving more, we also need to give our mental health the same level of care and attention. A good night's sleep, meaningful connections, staying curious, and allowing moments of calm, these are not luxuries, they're essentials. Every single day is an opportunity to nourish your mental well-being. I want you to remember one key idea from today's conversation. Mental health after 70 is not a downhill slope unless you allow it to be. The brain is remarkably adaptable, and even small adjustments in your daily life can protect your clarity, your memory, and your overall happiness. It's never too late to make changes, and every step you take towards reducing stress and building resilience is a step towards a brighter, more independent future. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which of these mistakes resonated with you the most? Have you noticed one of them in your daily routine, or maybe in the life of someone close to you? Please share your thoughts in the comments. I always enjoy reading your stories and insights. If you found value in this video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps support the channel. And don't keep this knowledge to yourself. Share it with friends or family who might benefit. Together we can help more people live healthier, happier lives. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. That way you'll never miss the upcoming videos where we'll continue to explore simple, science-backed ways to improve your health, protect your well-being, and enjoy life after 70 to the fullest. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Take care of yourself, stay positive, and I'll see you in the next video.